Am I wrong for leaving a wedding to go eat at McDonald's? Hi, I'm female 25. Recently, my colleague, 31 female, invited me to her wedding, which happened yesterday. I was super excited and happy for her. Just in case, I asked her if there were any guest fees. She said, "No, you don't need to pay me anything." On the day itself, everything went well until the reception, dinner time. To my shock, I was presented with the wedding menu that had prices on it. For example, steak, $50. Everything was ridiculously expensive, including the vegetarian options. At first, I wanted to question her because, well, she lied to me that I didn't have to pay for anything, but it was her wedding and I didn't want to spoil her day by embarrassing her in front of everyone. However, the only other option was to simply not eat, as I didn't bring enough money for both a meal and a ride back. But this was completely unfavorable as I had skipped my lunch to save space for the wedding meal and was pretty hungry. I'm guilty of this. When I know I'm going to an event or a wedding, I will most definitely not eat anything all day because I'm gonna grub at the party. Suddenly, I remembered that I saw a McDonald's about 5 minutes away from the hotel. As tactfully as I could, I asked the bride if I could make a quick stop to McDonald's as I didn't bring enough money for the reception meal. I said that I'd be back in time for the gift ceremony and cake. Why would you tell her? I would just go. Is that normal? I thought she'd agree, but to my horror, she got really upset. She said that she put in so much effort to get this Michelin star restaurant service, yet I still wasn't happy. That I was trying to bring her down by saying that I'd rather eat McDonald's. Yeah, not gonna lie, but McDonald's hits the spot when you're hungry. Alarmed, I said that I didn't mean it that way. I just didn't have the cash for it. She then scoffed and said, "Whose fault is that?" Although I was trying to keep my anger, those words really pissed me off. So I told her, "You were the one who lied that I didn't need to pay anything." Getting angry as well, she replied, "What I meant was that there was no attendance fee. You literally assumed that you'd get a free 5-course dinner. Wow, you're cheaper than I thought." With a glare, she asked me to leave her wedding. I did, struck dumb and rather hurt. And on my way home, I grabbed a Big Mac, LOL. Back at home, I told my boyfriend everything and asked if I was an asshole. He thought it was a funny story, but said I was an asshole. If I didn't have the money, I could always pay her back later. In his exact words, he said, "You chose the wrong time to be stingy." My other friends agree as well, saying that it was not tactful of me for doing that at the wedding. And although she lied, I should have just brushed it off instead of dampening her happy spirits. After hearing their opinions, I feel quite guilty and embarrassed. However, that one little part of me still thinks that it's justified because 1, she lied to me, and 2, publicly humiliated me. Please help me out here. Am I the asshole? Am I wrong for refusing to help my daughter with her car payment because she is a stripper? I, 42 male, have a 22-year-old daughter. She is in college and lives on campus. I agreed to help her make her car payments since she was in school. I was recently informed by a young man I work with that my daughter strips at a club about 40 minutes away. I confronted her on this and she said she didn't plan to do it after she graduated and just needed some money. I told her then to work at McDonald's, not use her body. Ugh. But I get your point, I really do as a dad. But the amount of money you make at McDonald's versus the amount of money you make as a stripper is drastic. If school didn't cost an arm and a leg to survive, I'd be like, yeah, work at McDonald's. But life is expensive right now. It doesn't cost as much as it did when you were in school, which was like, what, $1,000 a semester? Shit is expensive. School is like 5-6 grand a semester minimum. And that's not including living expenses. We got into an argument and I asked her to quit stripping and get a decent job then. She refused and said stripping was easy money, so basically I said there was no need for me to pay her car payment anymore since she is making money so easily. She got upset and said that wasn't fair and that she doesn't make enough for that. I told her to figure it out. She told my wife about what happened and my wife was upset by her job choice but says it's unfair for me to stop supporting her so suddenly over an argument. I think it's perfectly fair. It's my money and my decision when to cut it off. Am I wrong for letting my sister walk me down the aisle despite my fiancé and his family's objections? I, 23 female, was raised by my older half-sister, 32 female. I never met my dad and our mom OD'd when I was 10 and my sister was 19. My sister's dad was still in her life and was willing to support her, but not me. My sister chose to be my guardian and her father's family went low contact with her as a result. In order to raise me, she gave up a lot. Her relationship with her family, college, her 20s, and so much more. A few months ago, I got engaged and I told my sister that in addition to being my maid of honor, I also wanted her to be the one to walk me down the aisle. All my life, she's had to fulfill so many roles for me, big sister, mother, father, friend, that it only felt right that those multiple roles be honored on one of the biggest days of my life. My sister was ecstatic and so was I, but when I brought it up with my fiancé, he objected. My future in-laws are very traditional and my fiancé had always expected that his wedding would be a very traditional white wedding. He said that it was great that my sister was my maid of honor, but that her having 2 roles wasn't, and that it wasn't appropriate for her to walk me down the aisle since that's usually done by a man. Says who? Says who? Apparently his family had assumed that my future father-in-law would be the one to give me away since I don't have any male relatives. I told him that I appreciate his father being willing to fill that role, but that the one who makes me the person I am is my sister, so it's right that she be the one to give me away. It turned into an argument that spread to my in-laws. My mother-in-law called me a few days ago to say although she understands how important my sister is to me, that it's also my fiance's wedding and I shouldn't be putting my sister before him on his day. But how does it affect you? I would understand if it affected him directly, but it's literally just your sister walking down the aisle and giving you to him. I really don't see the problem with this unless I'm missing something. I definitely heard her on that, but this is still important to me. At this point, my sister has even said that she doesn't mind just being the maid of honor and that she doesn't want to turn my happy date into something stressful. So now it's just me holding out and being stubborn, but I really don't want to concede at this point. Am I being the asshole? Are the in-laws contributing to the wedding? Yes. In fact, they're paying for about 75% of it since I'm still in school and don't have the money to put towards a wedding the scale that fiancé wanted. Does your fiancé have sisters? No, he has 2 younger brothers. Did he ask your sister for your hand? He did, actually. She also helped him custom design the engagement ring. She showed me their group text, and at one point they spent 3 weeks trying to decide between 5 different diamonds.
Story time about how my ex-boyfriend stole all my shit and then gave it to his new girlfriend. So a little background information, I was 23 and I had been dating this guy who we're gonna call Derek for 2 years. Now at first I thought that our relationship was perfect, of course, you guys know how it goes. But then the one day he came home from work and he told me that he had been cheating on me throughout our whole relationship. He literally had a full-on relationship the past 2 years that him and I were supposed to be together with another girl. But yeah, he came home from work and he told me, listen, I don't want to be with you, I really love her, it's just not working out. So obviously I go and I find her social media and I tell her, and she just blocks me. She literally just blocks me. And then he told me that she knew that he was also dating me at the same time. So whatever, fast forward, he moves out, he moves in with her, and he is slowly moving his stuff out of my apartment. It literally took him 4 months to get all of his stuff out of my apartment. Anyway, so the one day he calls me while I'm at work and he's like, hey, can I come get the keys? I need to get some of my stuff. So obviously this had been going on the past 4 months, so I was like, yeah, just come pick the keys up. So like I said, he comes, he grabs the keys, and he goes to my house, he's getting all of his stuff. When my neighbor, who is one of my friends, she's freaking out, calling me over 10 times. Obviously, I'm at work, so I can't answer the phone, and then I get a text from her saying that he's there with his new girlfriend. Well, I guess she isn't really a new girlfriend if he's been dating her the whole relationship that we had, but you guys know what I mean. So I'm freaking out, and I call him, and then I hear her in the background talking to my dog. Now, obviously, I don't even want this girl in my apartment in general, so I'm freaking out that she's trying to talk to my dog. So I'm yelling at him, I'm like, I want her out of the apartment, I'll call the police if you guys don't leave. Also, tell her to get away from my dog. So, he says okay, hangs up the phone, and I call my neighbor and I tell her, call the police if she goes in my apartment again. And less than 2 minutes later, my friend calls the police because his girlfriend started breaking stuff in my apartment and she took my dog. Literally, they drove away with my dog and then let it go in the middle of the woods. But I guess it's okay because I got my dog back.
I, 20 female, walked in on my boyfriend, 22 male, cheated on me with his longtime friend. I wish this were a joke. My heart physically hurts just typing this out. My boyfriend, who I'll call Kay, and I have been dating for 4 years. After high school, he asked me to move in with him. I agreed so that we could be together while we attended college. Over the years, we made amazing friends here, and he was just as kind to me as when we first started dating. Cute, awkward text messages, surprise gifts, and flowers at least once every 2 weeks. We had a date night every Thursday after work as well. We are both from well-off families, so we never struggled financially. He also told me he loved me at least once a day. Well, last week, I got out of work early. I was in a good mood because Kay had sent flowers to my workplace and ordered me Chinese food for lunch because I had mentioned that I had a taste for it the night before. On my way home from work, I picked up some of his favorite donuts and went home. When I walked in the door, I could immediately hear the moaning. I walked to our bedroom to see that our friend, Ellie, was on top of him. My heart dropped. They'd known each other for 10 years, but they were never close, or so I thought. They didn't notice me until I dropped the donuts in shock. They quickly covered themselves up, and Kay got up to try and explain the situation to me, but I wasn't hearing any of it. I packed a bag and left to my friend's house. I've been here for the last week, trying to rationalize everything. He's been calling me and texting me, telling me he loves me and that he doesn't know why he did this. He's been asking me to come back. Where did I go wrong? Was I not satisfying him enough? I just don't understand why he would do this to me. I have no idea what to do